The great celebration of Pentecost is, of all our liturgical feasts, the solemnity most focused on the Holy Spirit. And yet, the profundity of what it is we believe and celebrate about the Holy Spirit is often reduced to caricature, mere depictions of doves and tongues of fire, or presented in a limited frame, as an isolated event that took place in the first century. When Pentecost is given greater consideration, it usually extends to the historical commemoration of the birth of the Church, which makes perfect sense. However, I would venture to guess that few Christians give any serious thought to the significance of the Holy Spirit for anything apart from human experience generally and Christian history in particular. As the late Australian theologian Father Denis Edwards once wrote, many Christians think of the Spirit as coming at Pentecost, with little sense of the Spirit's work in creation, grace, and incarnation. The focus is so much on the great event of Pentecost that the rest of the story of the Spirit is forgotten. For this reason, I am especially grateful that Pope Francis has scheduled Laudato Si, Week 2021, a time set aside to celebrate the anniversary of the encyclical's promulgation and focus our personal and collective attention on the need for ecological conversion, to overlap with the Solemnity of Pentecost. Such a correspondence in scheduling invites the Church to reflect more deeply on the role of the Holy Spirit, not only in our lives as humans, but also in the broader community of creation. Given that so few Christians focus much energy on the Holy Spirit, which is an issue I have written about before, there is a lot that could be said about the third divine person of the Holy Trinity. However, in light of the celebration of Laudato Si Week, I think it is important for us to spend some time considering the action of God in the more than human world precisely as Spirit. Francis emphasized this point in Laudato Si On Care for Our Common Home, when he wrote, "Admittedly, Christians have not always appropriated and developed the spiritual treasures bestowed by God upon the Church, where the life of the Spirit is not dissociated from the body or from nature or from worldly realities, but lived in and with them, in communion with all that surrounds us." No. 216. St. Joseph Sr. Elizabeth Johnson, professor emerita at Fordham University, wrote in her 2014 book Ask the Beasts, Darwin and the God of Love, that W. hile creation often gets pinned to the past beginning of things, and rightly so. It is a doctrine with unsuspected depths. Classical theology speaks of creation in three senses as creatio originalis, creatio continua, creatio nova, that is, original creation in the beginning, continuous creation in the present here and now, and new creation at the redeemed end time. In all three senses of the doctrine of creation, the Holy Spirit plays an essential role,